almost new member. I've found that one of the most gratifying things in life is working towards a goal. Everyone here set a goal for themselves. As we whimsically come into this room, we want to improve ourselves in some way. For me, I want to, like many of you, improve my public speaking skills because I hope that this will help develop me into a better physician in the future. From a young age, my father taught me the importance of setting goals for myself, and this advice has helped keep me motivated and focused through my entire life. However, something that my grandmother also taught me was to always look out for the signs from God that He provided to guide me through life. And I truly feel that these two pieces of advice have been instrumental in leading me to choose a career as a physician. Many of my initial aspirations had to do with soccer. First, I wanted to make the JV high school soccer team, and through some hard work, I achieved this. After that, I wanted to update my goal, and I wanted to become a varsity soccer player. So, I worked harder than I ever had before in the summer before my sophomore year, running at least 5 miles a day, working out with weights routinely, practicing skills and drills, in addition to practicing and competing with my club soccer team in tournaments. By August, just 2 months before my high school soccer tryouts, I knew that I was ready. I knew I was going to achieve my goal and make that team. I just had one club soccer tournament left of the summer before I began the transition to high school soccer. In the last game of that last tournament of summer, I was crashed into by another player. And although this type of physicality is pretty normal in soccer, I knew that this time it was different because I felt this excruciating pop in my left knee. I went to the ground. I went to the ground. I knew something was definitely wrong. Later that week, I found out that I had torn my ACL and lateral meniscus, which required several months of physical therapy after a reconstructive surgery. All in all, it took around 7 months to fully recover, but I did it, and I made it back to the soccer field the following summer. By August, again that next summer, I knew that I was ready. I had recovered. I was back in shape. I was ready to achieve my goal and make that varsity soccer team. I just had one club soccer tournament left before I began the transition. In the last game of that last tournament of summer, I was running down the field. My teammate crossed me the ball. I took the shot. And my body betrayed me in this awkward, twisty motion. I go to the ground, and I feel this very familiar, excruciating pop in my right knee. At least I'm even out now. So I knew what to expect already, because it was basically the same exact feeling. I had torn my ACL and lateral meniscus again, and so I had to get surgery, go through several months of physical therapy. But I made it back. All in all, it was around 9 months of 9 months of recovery time before I went back to the soccer field. And eventually, I did make the high school varsity soccer team. I achieved my goal. Even though it was very frustrating in the moment, and not being able to play in my sophomore and junior year basically eliminated any chance of me obtaining an athletic scholarship, I was proud to have achieved my initial goal. And it was my first true introduction to medicine. I remember in physical therapy marveling at the fragility and resilience the human body displayed in both myself and other patients I met along the way, and at how much a dedicated healthcare team could impact an individual like me. And this ignited an interest in medicine for me. This interest in medicine persisted into college and eventually led to me going on a healthcare mission to Nicaragua. It was in Nicaragua where I witnessed the harsh realities of extreme poverty and was introduced to medicine in this brand new light as a form of service to this exceptionally deprived population. I remember one instance specifically in which I was driving in a bus to the hospital and I saw this mother and her son walking along the roadside, dressed in these tattered, dirty clothes. Clothes that looked as if they were the only clothes these two had. Later that day, I found out that that little boy was one of our patients. And realizing that some of these people quite literally walked miles and miles to receive treatment from us made me long for a skill set that would be of more use to this population and other needy populations across the world. And I began to feel that connections I made with people like that little boy and other patients that I met were signs from God that this was my calling. This is what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to become a doctor. And by the end of my first healthcare trip to Nicaragua, I knew that I wanted to be a physician. That I knew I wanted to be a physician, and that this was my new goal I set for myself. And today, as I prepare to start medical school in July, I'm so thankful for the advice that my father and grandmother gave me. I continue to set new goals for myself and to look out for signs from God that are trying to guide me. With that, I leave you with a quote by a woman named Barbara Dillingham. Life is not a path of coincidence, happenstance, and luck, but rather an unexplainable, meticulously charted course for one to touch the lives of others and make a difference in the world. Mr.
Everybody close your eyes.